Marcus had been running on autopilot for 3 years, ever since the accident took Sarah and left him with 2 kids, a crumbling Victorian house, and a heart that only remembered how to beat, not how to feel. He dropped Emma at soccer, made Jake's lunches with military precision, and smiled at parent-teacher conferences like a man who had his life together. But everyone in their small Connecticut town knew the truth. Marcus Chen was surviving, not living. What he didn't know was that someone had been watching him fumble through life with a patience that would have broken most people. The first sign came on a Tuesday. Marcus stood in the grocery store parking lot, staring at his dead car battery while rain hammered the windshield. Emma had a game in 40 minutes, and Jake needed his inhaler refilled before the pharmacy closed. He pressed his forehead against the steering wheel, that familiar tightness creeping into his chest, the one that whispered he was failing, always failing. A tap on his window made him jump. Lily Brennan stood there, drenched, holding jumper cables like they were a bouquet of flowers. "Pop the hood," she called through the glass, not asking, just doing. He'd seen her around, the kindergarten teacher with paint-stained cardigans and a smile that somehow never looked forced. She'd waved at him during school pickups, complimented Jake's artwork at the spring fair, always seemed to materialize when shopping carts got away from him or Emma forgot her lunch. "You don't have to," he started, climbing out. "I know," she said simply, already connecting the cables. 5 minutes later, his engine roared to life. Before he could offer gas money or a proper thank you, she was back in her sensible sedan, waving as she drove away. Emma made her game. Jake got his inhaler. Marcus forgot about it by bedtime. The second sign came on a Saturday that felt designed to destroy him. The washing machine exploded, not metaphorically, but actually spewed soapy water across the basement floor. While Marcus frantically mopped, Jake decided to help make breakfast and triggered the smoke alarm. Emma chose that exact moment to announce she needed poster board for a project due Monday, and when Marcus checked his phone, he found 3 missed calls from his boss about the presentation he'd completely forgotten. He sat on the kitchen floor, surrounded by soggy towels and burnt toast, and felt something crack inside his chest. Not breaking, exactly. Just splintering. The doorbell rang. Lily stood on his porch holding a casserole dish and a bag from the craft store. "Emma mentioned her project at school yesterday," she said, breezing past him like she'd been invited. "And I made extra lasagna because, honestly, who doesn't overcook on weekends?" She stayed for 20 minutes. Fixed Emma's poster board situation with the efficiency of a woman who'd shepherded 1,000 kindergarten art projects. Made Jake laugh about the smoke alarm incident. Pretended not to notice when Marcus had to step into the hallway and press his palms against his eyes. When she left, the house felt warmer somehow. Easier to breathe in. Marcus told himself it was just neighborly kindness. Nothing more. But the signs kept coming. She showed up at Jake's school play with a bouquet for all the performers, but somehow Emma ended up with the biggest flowers. She recommended a repair guy when his furnace died, then somehow that guy charged half his usual rate and mentioned, "Lily insisted I take care of you folks." She brought coffee to his car during morning drop-off on the day his presentation was scheduled, just regular coffee, but she remembered he took it black with 1 sugar. Marcus's mother noticed during their weekly video call. "That teacher you keep mentioning," she said carefully. "She sounds lovely." "She's just nice," Marcus said. "Nice to everyone." His mother made a sound that clearly meant, "You're an idiot," but she didn't push. The truth was, Marcus had stopped believing in signs. After Sarah died, people said everything was a sign: cardinals in the yard, songs on the radio, dreams. He'd learned that signs were just coincidences that grief-stricken people clung to because the alternative was admitting the universe didn't care. So when Lily invited them to her family's 4th of July barbecue, he saw it as politeness. When she taught Emma how to braid hair after noticing Marcus's terrible ponytail attempts, that was just her teacher instincts. When she stayed late helping Jake with his science project, laughing at Marcus's terrible jokes, fitting into their broken little family like a puzzle piece they didn't know was missing, that was simply who she was. A good person doing good things. Nothing to do with him. September marked 3 years since the accident. Marcus always took the day off, sent the kids to his mother's, and let himself fall apart in private. This year, he sat in his car at Sarah's favorite beach, watching the Atlantic churn gray and cold. His phone buzzed. A text from Lily, thinking of you today. You're stronger than you know. He stared at the message. She'd never mentioned knowing about Sarah, never brought up the accident. But of course she knew. Small towns had no secrets, only polite silences. He typed and deleted 5 responses before settling on, thank you. 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Then, you don't have to be strong all the time, you know. Some of us are happy to help carry things. Marcus read it 17 times. Felt something shift in his chest, that crack widening, letting light in where there'd only been shadow. But he still didn't understand. The moment that changed everything came in October, during the Halloween parade. Emma's costume ripped 10 minutes before lineup. She dissolved into tears, not about the costume, Marcus realized, but about everything. About being 10 and not having a mom to fix things. About watching her dad pretend he wasn't drowning. About being so tired of everyone being so sad all the time. Marcus knelt in the school hallway, holding his sobbing daughter, completely out of his depth. Then Lily was there, sewing kit in hand. I've got this, she said softly. But she wasn't looking at Emma's costume. She was looking at Marcus, and something in her eyes made his breath catch. She fixed the costume in 4 minutes flat. Emma ran off to join her class. And Lily turned to Marcus with an expression he'd been too blind to recognize before, hope mixed with resignation, like someone who'd been knocking on a door they were finally ready to stop knocking on. I have to tell you something, she said, voice shaking. And then I'll leave you alone, I promise, but I can't keep. She pressed her hands to her face. God, this is humiliating. Lily, I love you, you idiot. The words burst out of her, loud enough that 2 teachers down the hall turned to stare. Tears streamed down her face. I have loved you for 2 years. Since the moment I saw you fall asleep at that PTA meeting because you'd been up all night with Jake's flu. Since you cried at the kindergarten graduation because Emma sang off key. Since you've shown up every single day even though you're clearly exhausted and heartbroken and barely holding on. Marcus couldn't breathe, couldn't think. I brought you jumper cables, Lily continued, words tumbling out like a dam breaking. I fixed your washing machine connection, that wasn't a repair guy, that was my brother. I've been leaving Jake's favorite cookies in his backpack and pretending they were from the class snack rotation. I've been in love with you for so long that I can't remember what it feels like not to be, and you, her voice cracked. You look at me like I'm just a nice teacher. Like I'm nobody. You're not nobody, Marcus whispered, the words scraped raw from somewhere deep inside him. Lily, he stopped. Because suddenly, every moment replayed in his mind like a film reel. Her showing up exactly when he needed her. Knowing his coffee order, remembering Emma's project, the way she looked at him when she thought he wasn't paying attention. Not pity. Not sympathy. Love. I'm so sorry, he breathed. I'm so sorry. I was so busy surviving that I missed everything. I missed you. She wiped her eyes, trying to smile. It's okay. I just needed to say it. I'm falling in love with you too, Marcus interrupted. I think I have been for months. I was just too scared to let myself feel anything again. Too scared I'd ruin it. Too scared to believe something good could happen to me. Lily went very still. What? You make my coffee appear on bad mornings, Marcus said, stepping closer. You make my daughter laugh. You make my son feel brave. You make my house feel like a home instead of a place we're all just surviving in. His voice broke. You've been loving my family while I was too blind to see it, and I'm sorry I made you wait. I'm sorry I made you think you were nobody. Marcus, I'm an idiot, he said. But I'm an idiot who loves you. If you'll give me a chance to stop being quite so much of an idiot. She laughed through her tears, and it was the most beautiful sound he'd ever heard. That's all I wanted. Just a chance. He kissed her there in the elementary school hallway, with construction paper pumpkins watching and the smell of pencil shavings in the air. Kissed her like a man who'd been drowning finally breaking the surface. Kissed her like someone who'd finally learned to read the signs. Later, when he told Emma and Jake, they exchanged a look that suggested they'd known long before he did. Children usually do. That night, Marcus sat on his porch with Lily tucked against his side, watching October leaves spiral down. Thank you, he whispered. For not giving up on me. Thank you for finally noticing, she whispered back. I was running out of excuses to bring you casseroles. He laughed, really laughed, for the first time in 3 years. And somewhere in the space between grief and joy, between surviving and living, Marcus Chen finally came home.